So I'm going to show you today how to remove your steering wheel and replace it with one that has the heated steering wheel function. If you look at F-types, one thing I found quite early on when I was looking for F-types is that if you want the heated steering wheel, it came with the winter pack, and that meant that you had to have the heated windscreen, which I had before on an old Jaguar, and I'm not a fan of the heated windscreen. It has little lines through the windscreen. I don't really like it. So I thought I can live without the heated steering wheel. However, now I've figured out you can retrofit a heated steering wheel, and you don't have to have the windscreen. And I'm going to show you how. All you need is a steering wheel that is originally a heated steering wheel one, and one of these, which is the module that fits on the clock spring and gives the power to the heated steering wheel. So first things first, you need to remove the steering wheel, and that's very tricky because you can't see how to get the airbag out. But with this steering wheel off the car, I'll show you quite easily. What you probably need is a screwdriver that's not too long, because you're going to have to get it in behind the steering wheel without it hitting the dials. And then if we look in this hole here, you see that little spring bit? Oh no, it hasn't. And then it releases the airbag from the steering wheel. So you do that on both sides. Just push it. Very easy if you push towards the top. And hey presto. If we turn it around now, separated the airbag, and then we'll move on to removing the steering wheel from the car. And for this next step, you need to disconnect your battery. Disconnect the battery, and then we can remove these little orange clips, and then that'll pull out. And then for the next thing, we need a 21mm socket. And loosen the steering wheel. Like that. And remove the steering wheel. You're going to need to remove the connector for the steering wheel. So I'd advise disconnecting the battery. Just push in that tab there and it pulls away. So we can do it on camera here. There we are. So in the boot, you just remove this connector here. Use the 13mm socket and disconnect the battery. So it's loose. Pull that away and leave it so it can't fall back on. And the most important part here is the boot switch is electric. So I get this and just place it over the part so that then when you put the boot down, it won't close and lock you out with the battery disconnected. So now with these removed, you can see that, got the steering wheel off. We can see here on the steering wheel, which we don't have on the non-heated steering wheel, is the connections. And these make a connection soon. They'll be sticking out like that, so be something like that. And that's what provides the power to the heated steering wheel. So we just need to remove this lower cowl, some bolts under there. Take your torque wrench, and you've got two bolts, one there to remove the lower cowl. And with those bolts removed, the lower cowl comes off. We'll leave it there for now, we don't need to completely remove it. And we'll take the new part and fit it in place of this one. So there should be a little release clip there, pulls away, and then we'll plug this one in like that instead, and then slot it in. There we are, the new one plugged in, slots in, clicks in. We can now put this back together quite simply. Tighten up the bolts, and then we'll put it all back together. And I can now confirm the light works. Yay! See if it gets warm. And also this button here does the stereo, which the old steering wheel just had a blank and a blank. And as you can see, I don't have the heated windscreen, and the button for it would be there. But we do have the heated steering wheel. Oh, I can feel it already. Ah, that is the dream. There we are. Let's see if we can get some more. Steering wheel moves fine. And we got that. We'll think if we can get any other upgrades. OEM Plus, that'll be cool. Oh, she's toasty. Wow, that has absolutely made my day. Absolutely loving that upgrade. There was a tiny scratch on the steering wheel there. Let's see if we can get that out with a bit of polish. The old steering wheel was maybe in a bit better condition, but whoa, oh, it's nice. It's so warm. It's so warm. I am absolutely over the moon with that. That's cheered me right up. Just two cautions. I should have added a little bit sooner in the video. I think I didn't record. One is when you take the steering wheel off, you have to pay particular attention to where the notches are on the steering shaft and the steering wheel. I'll put up a picture here showing exactly where mine is. So if you forget to take a picture, you can just study mine. That's exactly where it needs to go back on. That way when you drive down the road, the steering wheel will be exactly where it was when it came off. And then secondly is before you disconnect the battery, because these doors, the window goes up and down. If you disconnect the battery, it won't go down. So what will happen is chances are you'll damage the chrome part on the surround. So just before you disconnect the battery, just drop the window a tiny bit, and that'll save you any issues there. So there we are. The two things you need to do this job are a heated steering wheel from a car that had it as standard, and that little module that fits onto the clock spring. Whilst I can't help you find a steering wheel, I'm sure if you look at the breakers, eBay, etc., you might find one. But the module, I can help you. I'll put a link in the description, and you'll be able to go there and buy a used module for the clock spring, because from the dealership they are a good couple £100. So there we are. Tune in again. I'll get some better video content coming out for you guys.